people, it's your boy Osman back again with another Manchester United podcast. As always, make sure you get your comments in. Everyone's links are down below. Make sure you show love to the obviously our guests. To be fair, I need to change that because we've had about 4 substitutions. But of course, that will be updated once the show is all live and all that good stuff. Make sure you slap a like, subscribe to the channel. As you can see from the title, Manchester United Conundrum. We'll be trying to solve that mystery, which is, you know, I mean, it's not really a mystery. It's pretty much common sense to me. But, of course, we let the guests speak on that matter when we get to that topic. But first and foremost, let me introduce to you the panel. On my left, the homie. The first time he's been on the Man United podcast, always showing love, always sharing the content. Obviously, this is a collab, but a proper collab is definitely pending with all the talking kit homies. We've got Aaron in the building. Aaron, how you doing, brother?
What are you saying, bro? You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. You guys know I ain't good, but for the sake, obviously, we'll get into that very shortly. But, you know, obviously, you're going to introduce the homies. Alice has actually made it on time, to be fair to her. Alice, you're on time, actually. I've just started, so happy days.
Hey.
Days. You love to see it. As always, we've got my co-host in the bin. Actually, I'm going to swap you over because Jerry's normally the co-host. Listen, lastminute.com, always supporting the content. As always, you guys know me, Jerry. I love the back and forth, but it's all love. As always, repping United Team Talk. And of course, United. I was back to call United Sunday. I was watching them before. Come on up, bloody hell.
Oh, gosh.
Subliminally is in my head. But anyway, Jerry's in the building. Jerry, how you doing, brother?
Yes, man. All good. I'm feeling good, man. Obviously, we'll talk about the draw, but yeah, I feel good, man. I can't wait for obviously our Champions League campaign to start. But the topics today should be interesting to talk about. So let's get to it, man.
There's a lot to discuss. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Of course, first and foremost, before I introduce her, she has been nominated for two awards. Listen, I'm gonna pass it to you to explain the nominations because I'm gonna probably make a mistake. But obviously, huge friend of ours. You know, we've been collabing for a long time. And make sure you go and vote for her. Everyone in this chat, go and vote for her, okay? Because she's one of our own. Listen, Alice is in the building. Alice, obviously, tell the people about the nominations as well. How are you doing?
First of all, thank you for having me on the channel. Always great to be here. Thanks for that. Yeah, I got nominated for the Football Content Awards this year. Yes. I've been nominated for Best Young Content Curator and Best Premier League Club Content Curator.
Jeez.
So that was quite a good one to be up for. And if you go onto the Football Content Awards website, you can vote for loads of people for different awards. So yeah.
Vote for Alice. Not vote for loads of different people. Vote for Alice.
But ideally, vote for me, yeah.
Yes, vote for Alice. Obviously, the link will be in the description as well. Alice, you need to send me that. The link will be in the description as well as everyone else's link. Like I said, lastminute.com, substitutions, etc. But make sure you show love to her, young content creator of the year. You know, either Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, that kind of vibe. Show some love. But listen, let's get into the last two guests again. Another substitution. The homie, I don't even know if he's here. I'm assuming he is. The homie Kojo from 3 in midfield, as always, is in the building. Kojo, how you doing, brother?
I'm 50-50, man. Can't lie. I'm 50-50.
Yeah,
man.
me and Kojo are the same. I know exactly why you're 50-50.
Yeah, man. Firstly, shout out Alice. Congratulations on that. Hope you win as well, to be fair. And
yes.
Shout out everybody else in the panel, you know what I'm saying? Double A though, second time we're doing the show with them. Gassed. Come on.
Yeah, man.
And just gonna say this right now. If a certain Portuguese man does start wearing sky blue shirts, all I'm gonna say is Luis Figo is the greatest Portuguese player of all time. And yeah, Messi.
Yeah, listen. All I know is Bruno came from Sporting like Marcos Rojo, you know, the other guy. And listen, last but not least, the homie from First XI, always keeping it real. Listen, I've got a lot of respect for you. We don't always agree on the Ollie conversation, but you're always very respectful. So you know you got to show love every single time. We got Indiana in the building. Indiana, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. And just so you know, I'm getting there. I'm getting more on sort of your page with this. I'm getting really frustrated. Honestly, the other night I had enough.
Wow, okay.
I'm having enough, man. I've had enough. But congratulations, Alice. I hope you win. I honestly hope you win. I will go and vote. Make sure you go and do
100%.
that in the chat, people. Go and do that. It's free.
Yeah.
It don't cost you anything. Just go and do it, man.
Yeah, listen, I want to see Alice lifting that trophy. It might be the only trophy any Man United final association win, but we're going to stay positive, okay? We're going to stay positive for now. And it's only the second game of the season, you know. I'm not going to lose my rug just yet. But anyways, as it has been mentioned, someone has said it in the chat. That is correct. Nani is the greatest Portuguese player I've ever witnessed. Of course, I completely agree with that sentiment. Well, listen, we're going to have to start.
Usman, I just need to tell you how great he was. Hazard 6 trophies, Nani 12, twice
Absolutely.
the player. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, underrated. His great celebration of all time as well. OT just thrown out there, and one of the greatest stolen goals as well. But anyways, let's get into it. We're gonna discuss Cristiano Ronaldo's alleged move to Manchester City. I want to just get it out of the way because you know what, I have to get it off my chest. I'm not gonna lie. You know, for me personally, I think Coach is on the same page as me. I don't know about other people, but I'm absolutely devastated for many reasons. The first reason being is, obviously we'll get into it, but I just think it's a no-brainer for us to bring him back home. I think it massively increases our opportunity to win the league. I understand that it could potentially stunt the growth of Greenwood. Obviously, we've only got Cavani there, so somewhat doesn't make sense because at similar age to an extent. Obviously, Martial's there, you know, the greatest striker in the league. So we don't want to stunt his development as well this season. But jokes aside, like for me personally, to see him go to Man City and lift the Premier League with Man City and potentially lift their first ever Champions League trophy as well is going to be absolutely heartbreaking. I can't lie. I know, you know, Rachel as well, obviously, Indiana, as you know very well. She was saying to me, she doesn't really give a shit, which is understandable. But I can't lie. I do give a shit. Because Ronaldo, for me, alongside Rooney in particular, was my childhood without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Ronaldo and Rooney gave me my happiest moments as a Man United fan. I know people, just the generation older than me, will obviously name Cantona and players like that. I mean, some may even name Solskjaer because obviously that iconic moment. But for me, without a shadow of a doubt, it has to be Ronaldo and Rooney. Rooney's my favourite player, and Ronaldo's a very close second. For the reasons that, okay, it was short, but just the moments that we had with both of them two playing at Man United. I mean, the counter-attack goal against Arsenal is iconic. Obviously, the Champions League final, the amount of goals he scored for us. Yeah, for me, I'm absolutely gutted. I mean, I'm devastated that we got the opportunity to get him as well. But of course, we passed that over. Coach, I'm going to pass it to you next because I feel like you're on the same page as me. I feel like nobody else might. I mean, the others might not be. So we'll come to you, Coach Joe, obviously, just to give your 2 cents on the matter. How are you feeling, bro?
I'm burning, man. I'm burning. The way it's what you said, man. It's the whole memories, man. Because the guy scored beautiful goals for us. Man. It's a childhood thing, and then on top of that, yeah, you just got the fact that even when he played against us, you got the video of him. I think when he came back with Real Madrid, not Juventus, it might have been Madrid first, walking down the pitch, looking bare sad, like shit. I used to ball here. Like, I think the guy loves United. People say he loves Fergie. I think he loves United as well, but. At the same time, look, he went to Juventus for one reason, and that was to win Champions League. And the way Juventus have built their club has been in the last 2 or 3 years has been shit, if I'm being honest. So he's looking to leave, and I respect that. He's still ambitious. Just because he's old doesn't mean he can't be ambitious anymore. So he's saying, all right, cool, get me somewhere. His agent said, Man City, what you saying? And they said, all right, you know what? Let's see if we can get him on a nice deal. So they're trying to do the thing. So I hear it. Kind of want United to jump into it. Not gonna lie to you, it's not a nostalgia thing. I feel like we need some elite mentality and winners in the team still. So bringing someone like Ronaldo will be elite. But brother, if he wears that shirt, yeah. Listen, I told you how I felt about Aguero when he moved here. If Ronaldo goes there, my head is just gonna be severely hot. Oh my days. Hey, let me shut up. Let someone else go, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who to pass it to because I don't know anyone's thoughts, but I'm just gonna pass it to Jerry. I feel like he definitely doesn't give a shit. I can tell by his face. So Jerry, go on, tell us your thoughts on the matter.
Nah, I give a shit, but I'm not worried at all. Like, there's no way. Man. I don't know why people, because obviously the rumors are quite strong, but I just don't see how he goes to Man City after playing for United. But we still sing his song at Old Trafford, Viva Ronaldo.
But why? What makes you think that he will have this sort of divine loyalty to the club, so to speak?
He played for we still, like I said, we still sing his songs at the club. Like, he's got a whole legacy of United fans that have been following, like you said, from young. I don't think he would jeopardize that and join Manchester City.
But why though? Why though?
Why does he want to come back to the Prem? Like you've done it here. You don't have like unfinished business here. You've come here. You've won Ballon d'Or here. You've won Premier Leagues. You've won Champions Leagues. There's no real motive to come to the Premier League. So for me,
is that Ronaldo said on the thingy? You know, it's not. It's Cantona.
Oh yeah.
I've never noticed it. Honestly, I don't make the madness. I've never know. Oh my god, it's about
yeah, man. Obviously, I can never say never in football, but I just don't see this happening at all. I don't see him going to the Etihad. Yeah, I don't even think Pep fancies him. Like, and the whole his way.
Lad, to be fair, I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, like even the way they play, and I don't see how he fits even in their team. So I 100% think it's not happening. So I'm chilled, man.
Yeah, but this myth, right? I know there's definitely weight to this. That comment that you just made there. He doesn't fit into this Pep. Bro, it's Ronaldo. Like, he's just arguably one of the greatest players of all time. Whoever you ask, depending on who you ask, right? He's probably potentially in the top 5. Yeah. If you got opportunity to sign Ronaldo, right? I'm sure Pep's not gonna pass up the opportunity to coach Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, for me, that just seems ridiculous. I don't know what you think on.
Not really. 36 years old. How much the wages would be mad? They don't.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Wages don't matter when your team can win Champions League at a much higher rate. Listen, fam. The way is, Ronaldo will fit into that team perfectly because all they need is a figurehead up top. He don't need to get involved too much, and the rest of the team ball out crazy. Like the depth in that team is not even gonna be. It's already very, very good. So they're looking for a centerpiece now. They're looking for a killer. That's what they want. That's what Harry Kane for.
Kojo, it's not just that. Ronaldo is bigger than Man City. I'm not even joking. He's got more fans than Man City. Think about this. Like, so for me, I still feel he'll go to PSG because PSG need, imagine Ronaldo and Messi in the same side. If Mbappe come out and said no. Yeah, they've said no right now. But if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, trust me, nothing's going to elevate that club more than Ronaldo and Messi in the same team. So I'd be surprised if he went to City at 36 years old. Yeah, okay, he plays centre forward, but for the money, I think they just sit it out and go in for Haaland next season. City, in my opinion, but I can't see it happening. Don't worry about it, man. Anyway, if they get Ronaldo, it's not going to be the same Ronaldo. This isn't. I don't want him back at United. We're not taking him back, by the way. We can't have him back, by the way, because that's a different Ronaldo. This isn't the Ronaldo that used to take people on and make him look silly and score incredible goals. It's not the same guy.
We just put him up front, though, innit? We don't need him to do all that shit. We've got other players. We've got Sancho, Rashford. Them man's got about that life.
It's not happening.
I mean, I know it's like half assist. The point is gone, but to be honest. But yeah, Aaron, what are your thoughts, obviously, in terms of the whole situation? Are you on my Kojo's side, or are you on Indiana and Jerry's side?
Do you know what? I would hate to see him in a City shirt. It would be, like I say, I probably don't hold as much attachment to him as maybe you do, and Kojo does. Like, I'm one of these fans, me. So for me, he left in 2009, and then I've just not really. I like him, and I like what he did for us as a club. But some fans hold this attachment to him, like put him in the same pedestal as Cantona, which I personally don't, or other players who probably helped the club a lot more than he did. Obviously, United was always a stepping stone for Ronaldo to Madrid. He was never going to stay around. He was never going to stay around.
Coach just put something in the chat that's going to crack me off. He says, Coach just said, if he joins, don't talk about his kid. Oh shit! Like, obviously, if you don't know the reference, obviously they do have a challenge just talking about kids. But no, I do hold him at high regard. You mentioned Cantona. That of course Cantona was the catalyst for the 92. It's been well documented that he was the catalyst. All the players have said so. But for me personally, as I go back to, I mean, it is a sentimentality thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm very emotional towards Ronaldo. I've got to be honest. It's because. It's like if Rooney went to Man City as well, that would have hurt me as well, because I felt like them two players were part of my childhood growing up. I mean, the only other player that's hurt me this much is Beckham. When Beckham left, but he got forced out, so it's a bit different. I felt it when Beckham left because he was like my favourite growing up. But the thing with Ronaldo is it's just the thought of him going to City, winning them the Premier League above us. Like, we're trying to win the league at the moment as well. Let's be real. And then they could potentially win the Champions League. I mean, that's going to kill us. Like, he's a City legend then. He doesn't even belong to us. Right.
I think fans need to get away from the fact that Ronaldo holds United dear to his heart. He doesn't really care about United, and a lot of people saying he cares more about Fergie than United, which is probably true. But when he scored against us for Juventus, was it 2018, and he took his top off and he's showing the abs, he's not bothered. He's not. If he loved us that much, he wouldn't celebrate that, would he? So for me, Ronaldo does what's best for Ronaldo, and if Ronaldo's got a chance of winning the Champions League and the Premier League, played under Pep, scoring 20 to 30 goals in the team, like Kojo said, balls out, stick him in the box, he's going to bag for him. Whereas if you come to United, in the way we play, he won't score that many, because the number 9 shift for United is a graveyard shift because you don't get the service. Whereas for City, he will. So if he goes to City, he's going to score goals. If he gets a decent contract, which you think he will with his agent, and if it suits all parties, there's a good chance he may go. I think it probably won't happen. Like Indiana was saying, if Mbappe goes to Madrid, I can really see PSG pushing for Ronaldo to make that dream team, Neymar, Ronaldo, and Messi. That's everything they need. So I don't see it happening, but if it was to happen, I just expect it, because, like you say, football, there's no loyalty. Players look out for themselves now. Players are brands, and they just want to do what's best for them. So it wouldn't surprise me if he went. I would be a little bit gutted, but I don't see it happening.
Right, could we actually be angry though, Usman? Could we be angry at 37 years old? What was is?
I mean, look.
Where can you go? Where can you go? You can go and win trophies at City.
If you had a lot of options, then it would be different. But he has literally no options. Let's be real, innit? He just has Man City. Like, they're the only club.
But if he wins a Champions League with City, that's Messi's the GOAT, man. I mean, Messi's the GOAT if that happens.
The thing is, right, you can't tell me that's not going to hurt you. But I want to get to Alice, obviously. I just want to get this comment up by Dabs. Obviously, shout out to Dabs as well, Man City fan, in case you guys don't know. I think you might have put a spelling mistake there. But apparently, they're not winning the league. Like Man City, it's between Chelsea and Liverpool. I mean, I don't know what deflection tactic that is, but
that's just playing down City as always. Don't listen to
legit,
man.
That's all City fans, man.
That's
City
all
fans do this.
Bro, imagine they've just won the league and they had Ronaldo, and apparently they're not going to win it. But anyways, Alice, let's get your thoughts. You've been patiently waiting. Of course, we've probably gone on about this topic a bit longer than I expected. But Alice, what are your thoughts regarding the matter? Obviously, I've seen you like a couple of my tweets, so I'm assuming you're similar to me. But where do you sit on the whole situation?
I don't like it because, I was born in 2000 and my primary school days were Ronaldo, Rooney. And like Ronaldo was my favourite player as a kid. I was 9-10 when he left United. And I had like Portugal shirts with like Ronaldo on because I loved Ronaldo as a kid because he was like the player that made me love football because I was really quite young. I was like, this is the early days of watching United and he was like my favourite player. And when he left to Real Madrid, like, I was heartbroken, but I was like, like 9-10 then. So, like, the thought of Ronaldo coming back to the Premier League and it being Manchester City of all clubs, it does make me feel a little bit like, ugh. Like sick in a way because it's like, I like Ronaldo. And, like, if I see Ronaldo winning a Premier League trophy, kissing it with the City colours on, it's just like, that would hurt. Like, that would hurt. If I see Ronaldo playing at Old Trafford in a Manchester City shirt, like, that's going to hurt. Like, I think any player that plays for Man United, if they go to Man City, then it hurts, you know what I mean? But when it's Ronaldo, when it's a lot of people's favourite players in their childhood, one of the United legends, I know it wasn't there as long as like Giggs or Rooney, but Ronaldo was a United legend. And, if you're a United legend and you go to City or Liverpool, or even really any other Premier League team, but City or Liverpool, like, it hurts. I just don't want to see it, I think there's a chance it can happen. I think maybe it's PSG or City. Realistically, I think there's a chance it can happen. He said like 6 years ago, I'd never go to Man City. If I cared about money, I'd go to Qatar. But at the end of the day, I also see this thing. It's like, if City got Kane, I would have been annoyed. Because I think Kane is the start. It could make City win a Champions League.
Yeah.
Ronaldo could make City win a Champions League. For me, Manchester can never be blue till they win a Champions League. And if Ronaldo comes to Manchester City, or any striker comes to Manchester City, that's the only piece they need left. And if they win a Champions League, and if they win a Champions League with Ronaldo, like, that's going to hurt. Because as you mentioned earlier,
that's peak.
All they need is a player to be in the right position at the right time to get his head on the end of it to score goals. That's all City lack. And Ronaldo came, whether Ronaldo's 36 or not, as we said earlier, Ronaldo's the final piece. You know, Kane was the ideal target. Haaland would be a great one, but they can't get Kane, Haaland, Lukaku's gone. Ronaldo's their next best option, even if it's for a year or two. And, you know, if they win the Champions League and Ronaldo wins in that Champions League, that's going to hurt.
I mean, I can't echo what you've just said even more. If he wins the Champions League, you might as well erase that 2008 memory because we'll never fucking be able to mention it. But anyways, enough of the negativity. Let's talk about a bit of positivity. Manchester United, Champions League group. I mean, the question to you, Jerry, we'll start with you. How many points at the top of the table of this group do you reckon will be come the end of it?
Wait, how many points? We'll say that again.
Yeah, how far at the top do you think we are of this group? You know, at come end of the 6 games, mate. What do you reckon?
I will top the group.
How many points? It's light work, isn't it? Just in case you don't know, we got Villarreal. I mean, there's need no introduction. Atlanta, I think they were like top 5 for most goals scored last season. So of course that's going to be an interesting game. And Young Boys, which is iconic for the Jose Mourinho celebration with the water bottles when Fellaini scored that banger. It is what it is. But anyways, Jerry, now jokes aside, you say you finished top. Are you confident that you now got a good chance here?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was very happy with the draw. Seeing Villarreal in our pot 1. I mean, that's one of the teams I really wanted to face after what happened in the final. Don't really want to go much into that, but at least it doesn't go into penalties where we play them. But yeah, man, Villarreal pot 1 and then Atalanta, which could be a tricky game, but with the way they play, I think it suits us to a T. And obviously we've got Young Boys. I think we had Young Boys like 2-3 years ago. I remember Pogba.
Yeah, it was under Jose's tenure.
Yeah, scoring a banger. So yeah, man, we should be winning that group easily. I know Villarreal could be tricky. I'll take a point away from home, but the home games, fans back in the stadium, European nights, I think 13 points I'm aiming for. Win the home games, win another one, and then take a draw on the other 2. But yeah, I'm pretty confident, man. Surely we must come out of this group. Surely, if we don't, then this manager, I'm sorry, that night. Sacked.
Just blame the players, innit?
But stop. I don't know. I don't even want to get into it too much.
Yeah, let's not in it. We'll be all night. Indiana, I'm going to come to you next. Obviously, Jerry seems very confident, which probably means we're not going to make it through. But in terms of the group itself, is this now a case that we just got to be professional in these games? Because let's be real. These are the kind of games that we actually stumble against. You've just seen it at Southampton in the league. I mean, we tend to perform better against. I know last season wasn't an indication of that in the Champions League, but in general, we tend to perform somewhat better against the so-called superior teams. Are you somewhat worried with how we've done under Oli against the likes of Villarreal on numerous occasions? Atlanta, these teams will, they'll cause us too many problems, so to speak.
I'm not worried anymore. I'm not worried anymore because for me, Oli performs, or it's his last season. This is year 3, which is where this is where you have to perform, and we should be top in this group. That's where we should be. I mean, I heard Scott McTominay's injured, which whether people like him or not is going to be a huge miss for Manchester United. Whether you rate him or not, we should still top this group though. We still got the quality in the side to do it. The forward line. Martial needs to turn up, obviously, but we will. We'll top the group. I've got no worries about it. Even if we have 1 win and 1 draw against Villarreal, we'll win the group. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I feel for me personally, man. It's a bit of a pointless conversation. I'm not gonna lie, without sounding ignorant or arrogant, should I say? It should be fairly straightforward. My question to you, Aaron, really, I mean, it's a bit of a dumb question, anyways. But which of the teams worry you the most, so to speak, in this group?
Well, obviously, you look at Villarreal, obviously, the good thing about playing them 2 is there's not going to be any penalty shootouts in these 2 games, so we should be all right with them 2 games. Atalanta might be difficult away. Yeah, a good team, play good football, been doing well for the last couple of years in Serie A, so they could cause us some problems away. But I'm with Jerry in the end. There's absolutely no reason Manchester United should not be topping this group. Are looking to win every game. Like the Villarreal and Atalanta game away from home are probably the most trickiest. Young Boys, we should dispatch with them easy. But yeah, looking forward to being back at Old Trafford for Champions League games. We should win all 3 home games. But no, I'm confident we should get through. Ollie, hopefully, he's learned his lesson from last year. You know, I think he took a few of the games a bit too lightly. Leipzig away. I can't remember the Turkish team that
Istanbul,
we played.
Başakşehir.
Istanbul, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, and that game away obviously wasn't great either. So hopefully he's learned them lessons, and it's on Ollie to get us out of the group. He should have no stumbling blocks really. We should definitely look to be top in this group.
Yeah, no, my question to you, Alice, and Kojo, obviously, like I said, it's a bit of a pointless conversation, but my question would be your expectations, not just of this group, but in general, the Champions League. What would you deem successful in terms of a Champions League run? You know, I don't know. You know, what's successful for Ollie, Alice?
I feel like we'd have to obviously win our group, get out our group, you know. Talking of the group, Atalanta probably the hardest team. You know, young boys, we should beat them. Villarreal, they wouldn't even be in Europe if we didn't let them beat us on penalties. So Atalanta's our hardest team.
Wow.
They get battered by Manchester City every other year. AC Milan finished above them. We eased past AC Milan in Europa League. Like, we should win our group. Going into the Champions League, it's one of them things though where like if you draw PSG with Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Ronaldo, whoever they're going to have, you're like, and you draw PSG in the round of 16. It's like if you go out in the round of 16, it's not as bad, but it's like you don't want to go in the round of 16. For me, I want United to be I would love United to get to a semi. Obviously, even our semi-finals go over, Man United will probably lose. But I want us to win the Champions League. I want us to get to the final. I want to be, but if being realistic, I quite like us to just get to a semi-final. You know, I want us to win. Obviously, going out of semi is horrible, but I think the expectation is you win the group and we've got to get past the round of 16. You know, even if we bet PSG or Bayern, we've got to get past the round of 16. Hopefully you get like a Lille or Sevilla or someone. For me, I think in the Champions League. But I think no matter what happens in the Champions League, I think Ollie has to win a trophy this season in general. Like, we're United. We can't go another season without a trophy. We've added Sancho and Varane to our squad that came second last year. Like, we need to win a trophy, whether it's the Carabao Cup, which I don't really care about. Like, I feel like we just need to win a trophy. We need to be comfortable top four with 3 or 4 games to go. Hopefully, really put a pressure on City and Chelsea. But I think, like, realistically, they are a level ahead of us. But I think expectations for the season are win your group, get out, don't lose it in the round of 16, don't bottle it to someone crap. But we're normally quite good in big games, being the underdogs a lot of the time. And yeah, try go for a trophy and hopefully win the Champions League. But realistically, I'll be shocked if we did.
Yeah, I mean, if we win the Champions League, I don't know what I'd do. But in terms of what you said, context, of course, is important. But my Ollie agenda is so strong, I ain't even going to put context into it. If he loses to that PSG team, I'm going to shout Ollie out. I don't care. I've had enough. I don't care. Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, Ronaldo, I don't care. The whole pitch. Get Phil Jones to pocket all of them. I don't care. Make it happen, Ollie. But, Coach, my question to you, obviously similar question to Alice, but I want to just chuck in the caveat of away goal rule has been scrapped, as we all know. I mean, me personally, I'm a bit disappointed that it has been scrapped, but I just want to get your thoughts. Do you think that'll be a beneficiary to Man United? I mean, just the team in general, or do you think that's going to be something that might cause us a bit of issues as well?
I'm not sure. I keep watching that Monaco game and thinking, what would it be if it was us in that situation? How would I don't know. I think, firstly, I feel like the away goal rule added a bit more excitement to it. Yes, I know it can end in a draw, but the fact that you go to another team, you go to a team away from home and you have the energy to go out there and score more goals in their ground is exciting for me. I miss that. But I'm not gonna write off this new one yet. I'm gonna see how it goes. I want to see if the excitement still remains, because you could still have a game be 2-2 and then someone scores a goal in the 121st minute. Won't be Man United for anyone listening to this. So I don't want to write it off just yet. I want to give it some time, but I do miss the away goal rule already, because when I watched the Monaco game, I was thinking, well, they had the game in their bag. They went and actually, with the intent to win, and they scored more away goals, but unfortunately they considered that bogus own goal and they're out. So yeah, I won't write it off just yet. As for what it means for Man United, away goal rule, no away goal rule, brother. If you don't get out of that group here, someone better sack Ollie before I find him.
Wow, Coach is sending threats, yeah, no face. I'm just sending threats. But listen, regarding the away goal rule, I agree with your comment, to be honest with you. I just think it takes a bit of the excitement out of the game for me personally. But at the end of the day, it means that more teams have to be a bit more adventurous, because of course you can't just rest on your laurels to an extent. But next topic is, of course, the title midfield conundrum. Obviously, I'm just whizzing through all the topics. By all means, feel free to jump in on the next topic, because I'm just going to give it a free for all, basically. Whoever wants to have your say on it, just go for it. Ali's just said it point blank, really. Just sign a midfielder. The whole fan base, no, we need it. Management are blinded by the ability of Fred. I couldn't have said it better. And thank you for that comment. Absolutely nailed it. The homie always really positive of Man United. That's sarcasm, he never is. But anyways, moving on, regarding the matter, the midfield conundrum. I'm gonna only give Kojo and Indiana a bit of a sort of I'll pass it to you guys, because obviously I can't see your faces, so I don't know if you're going to talk. So Indiana, we'll come to you first and foremost, brother. The midfield conundrum, as you already mentioned, Scott McTominay injured. I mean, I personally have my opinion on whose fault that is. I'll get to that shortly. But what are your thoughts regarding the midfield issue? I mean, this seems to be the same conversation we've had for about 9 months. Maybe longer, 18 months possibly. So we're definitely going around in circles. But with the players that we got at our disposal, do you think anyone's going to come in? And if not, who would you play in that so-called double pivot?
So even with Scott McTominay fit, we have a midfield conundrum. That's how bad it is, in my opinion. The midfield is just shocking. We have the worst midfield in the top 6. Forget Arsenal; they've been replaced by Leicester. So, for me, I cannot see how Michael Carrick is looking at it and thinking, "I love this midfield. We don't need a midfielder." Like it's just shocking. City just got to a Champions League final, picked up trophies, won the league. Chelsea just won the Champions League. Neither of them had a striker. Timo Werner's not a striker, by the way. Jesus is not a striker, by the way. Like, midfield is key. It's the engine room. You build your team around the midfield. We literally bypass the midfield. That's what we do. That's how bad it is. How we have not gone all out for a midfielder, I don't know. The only logical reasoning, and I didn't.
You cut out there, Indiana, if you're still talking.
Yeah, I had a call come in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
The only thing I can think is that the player that they want, they cannot get. And remember, this is how we ended up with Fred. We ended up with Fred by going out and doing this. Look how many midfielders we have. It's mad how many midfielders we have on silly wages. So,
I mean, just in terms of the Fred comment, which is absolutely hilarious, we have got a few comments regarding the same people, Saul Niguez, Bissouma. I mean, no one's mentioned Ruben Neves at the moment. I mean, Alice, I know you do your daily transfer shows, which I've been watching very intently for somewhat of positivity to somewhat creep in. I mean, I would imagine you've read up on it about 1 billion times. So it's the Saul Niguez thing for me personally alone. I mean, you kind of alluded to, we've kind of mentioned with Ronaldo, the funding, etc. I mean, it's a loan deal, isn't it, Alice? Like, where do you sit with the midfield conundrum? I mean, what are your thoughts on the matter?
Like, we need a midfielder. Like, it doesn't take a genius to see that. And I must think, if 90% of the fan base who, don't have footballing careers or any of that can see we can see a midfielder, surely Ollie and those on the bench are not blind. Surely they don't believe that Fred is the solution. Surely. I sit here and I go, with McTominay injured, okay, Matic and Donny, that'd be great, but it's going to be Matic and Fred, and Matic and Fred are worse than McFred. I'd rather see McFred than Matic and Fred.
Alice, I'm Ollie out if I see it again, by the way. I'm Ollie out. I'm not even joking. I'm not having that.
Honestly, same here, because Leicester, 3-1 FA Cup defeat, who do we start? Fred and Matic. Yeah, we didn't start that. We started them again in a few 0-0 games, and then we hadn't started them for a while. Then we started versus Southampton.
We lost against Crystal Palace with this side as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Matic and Fred, they don't work. Like, they make Fred look good. They're that bad, and Fred aren't good. We need a midfielder so bad that I'm like, okay, ideal world is you get like a Wilfred Ndidi, a Declan Rice in, and you play them with Pogba, or you play them with Donny and Bruno. But I know that's not going to happen. So I'm at the situation where I'm like, just it doesn't even have to be an out-and-out CDM now. Just anyone that will go in the pivot and do a better job than Fred, which is everyone willing to. Like at the end of the day, Camavinga isn't a CDM, but if he plays in the pivot, he'll do a better job than Fred. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's too young. My opinion, he's too young. And look, think about this. Fredic, it sounds like a disease. It sounds like something you need treatment for. Fredic. Like, no one wants to see this at all. It's mad. Do you know what, Usman? What you said about Saul on a loan, I'm not against that. I'm not against that if you go and get your target next summer.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said actually on the podcast I was on yesterday, and then I'll pass it to you lot. I said if Saul's alone, right, as you just said, you're not against that. I mean, I agree with you. If Saul's alone, he basically comes in to replace Fred. He's not here to cover that CDM role. He's here to play instead of Fred, right? He's not a CDM. I don't know where this myth is that he's a CDM. I know he's played in CDM 13 times in his career, but he's not a CDM by nature. It's like putting Pogba in CDM. He can play there, but you're completely nullifying his strengths, which is, of course, being a threat in the opposition box. Saul is basically a box-to-box, a very good box-to-box. Good technician, good on the ball. He's, as you mentioned, engine room. I mean, he plays for Simeone. We know he's going to have to do the dog work. I mean, that's his bread and butter, so to speak. But basically, the point I'm making, Saul Niguez isn't a signing for me. That's a person that a club should get because we've lost Scott McTominay. Fred is clearly inept, although I defend him on the Twitter, which I'm never doing again. Because every time I've tweeted out positive about Fred, he scores a fucking own goal. The last time was PSG, and he got sent off that game. So I'm never tweeting positive about Fred. If I tweet positive about Fred, just block me. Just not
in two games, he's back to 0 goals.
Bro, every time I've tweeted anything positive about him, he's had an absolute mare prior to the game, honestly. There's only 2 times red card and an own goal. I'm not doing it again. But that aside, Saul comes in to replace Fred. And the second one, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Neves. I don't care if it's Basuma. I mean, some of these aren't even realistic now because it's so late. Declan obviously is off the cards and Didi is completely off the cards as well. So Basuma or Neves, I don't even care anymore. I'm just desperate. As Alice said, I don't want to see whatever it was, Fred Matic. I don't know what you guys said, but Fretic, wherever it was. I don't pronounce it right. I don't want to see that, and I don't want to see Scott coming back from an injury and playing over Van der Beek because I'm going to end up pulling my hair out. Honestly, God, it's going to kill me. So, for me personally, I would get Saul to replace Fred and just get Ruben Neves to play the other position. Or that's what I would do. I'd get both.
We ain't getting both.
We're not going to get both. I'm not saying we're going to get both because I know we're not going to get either. How about that? We won't even get either, let alone both. But what I'm saying is if I was in charge, that's the kind of ambition I would personally be showing. But obviously, we know that ain't going to be the case. Jenny, I'm going to cover to you. I'm going to just throw the caveat of Scott McTominay coming on as a substitute. When he was actually announced injured prior to the game, you needed a goal. Someone Lengard maybe. I don't know, Matt even he might have created something. That guy called Van der Beek, who's done at the Bernabeu, that kind of player. No, we sub on an injured McTominay who's now injured for 3 months off the back of this substitution. I tweeted out. People were saying to me, "Oh, Usman, stop being stupid." He was always going to go for a surgery. I mean, if a player's going to go for a surgery, why are you playing him? Like, just how does that make sense when he's just been announced injured prior to the game? So, Jerry, what are your thoughts on Van der Beek? I mean, we've had this convo about 1 billion times, but is he starting Sunday or what? What is happening? Is he playing?
Let me get my charger. But yeah, on Scott, this morning when I saw the update, let me just read it again because I was scratching my head that Oli admitted on Sunday that the academy product has been struggling with a grain problem since pre-season. Having tried all other treatment options, surgery was deemed necessary. So now looking back, I'm flabbergasted that he brought him on. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic. He even said before the game, he will play 20, 30 minutes if we need him. Well, drawing 1-1, even in the watch along, I was trying to back it, but then looking back is that it was just stupidity to bring him on. Now that he's injured, if Van der Beek doesn't start on Sunday, that in Genesis, I think I'm Oli out. Actually, I was already Oli out, but it's like...
Oh, he's off the fence. Come and just get around.
This guy. But if he don't start, then there's a serious agenda against this guy. We need to investigate because there's no there's no other answer. We can't start messaging Fred again. Like Van der Beek must be sitting there thinking, if he doesn't start me now, I need to handle the transfer request because it's just a big violation. A guy yes, he's young, but he's got bags of experience. He's not like a new player that's been like he's young and he doesn't know what he's doing. This guy's played Champions League games, playing for Ajax. He can play football. Mate, we've got obviously like in the end, I think we're gonna miss him. Now, as much as people don't rate him, I think he's a huge blow. I think he's out for a month, which is it's not that bad, but a month is. I think Champions League starts in a couple of weeks, so we're gonna miss him. But Van der Beek surely he has to take his chances now, because as much as we want him to play, when he has played, he hasn't really stood out like that. So for me, I want him to play, but I hope when he does play, he puts on like a 10 out of 10 performance. Obviously, it's highly unlikely, but I hope he does. He takes his chance and forces him in the starting lineup. But yeah, man, it's time to unleash Donny, man. Free Donny.
As you said, free Donny. I'm just going to get a couple of questions because obviously there's quite a lot of you put in the chat. Obviously, if you are still watching, make sure you do slap a like, subscribe to the channel. As I already said at the start, everyone's links are down below. Make sure you vote for Alice as well, otherwise it's not acceptable. But yeah, let's just this question here is what I was actually going to ask anyways. I definitely didn't rob it off Big Ron. Aaron, is it a concern, right? The Van der Beek side, obviously, you can add your sort of 2 cents on the sort of midfield situation. But is it concern that Ollie is persisting on making the same stupid mistakes over and over again with the substitution? Because for me personally, right, I've said consistently that I'm Ollie out for a while now, right? However, it's a new season, somewhat a new slate. Okay, let's be real. At the end of the day, you know, he's done his job last season. I wanted to win a trophy, but it didn't happen. It is what it is, yeah. This season, I want to see him make actual change. I stop making the same mistakes and also stop being so cautious. I mean, if you can't make an attacking substitution against Southampton, who are at bare bones at the moment with the amount of players that they've let go, who is he going to make attacking changes against? Because he literally forced on the injured Scott McTominay when we needed a goal. Like, does that worry you at all going into the season?
Oh, massively. And, you know, in my the season previews that I featured on and what I've said is Ollie lives and dies by his in-game management this season and his use of the squad, because his use of the squad has been diabolical. It's been shocking for a manager to only sort of play 13, 14 players and basically running them into the ground. You see the state of Rashford and Bruno, mainly in particular, maybe Wan-Bissaka as well. They were dead on the legs by the end of the season. And that comes from the manager not trusting the players. And, you know, we can talk about Donny to a blue in the face, but there's seriously something wrong there with Ollie and Donny van der Beek and why he doesn't trust him to play any games. Like Donny in the last game of the season against Wolves was probably the man of the match, playing with Matic. And that's what I will go with on Sunday, Matic and Donny van der Beek. They seem to play okay together. You look at the friendly against Everton in that first half, and they were brilliant together there. So Ollie really needs to start trusting his players, and like I say, bringing on McTominay when he's injured instead of Van der Beek just screams that there's definitely something wrong there. And the midfield, it's becoming an albatross around our neck because, like you've all said, everyone in the world can seem to see it, barring the coaching staff. And I don't know whether that's because Fred and McTominay are easier to coach, and they can coach them and tell them to do the role they want them to play. And they can't do that with Pogba and Van der Beek because they'll probably look at them and think, you know, I'm a world-class player. I've played at Ajax. I'm a world champion. What are you asking me to do? Because obviously the coaches are inexperienced. They're not experienced coaches. They're not world-class coaches. They're all kind of learning on the job together. So you have to look at the coaching and why, you know, we're persisting with this Fred and even like McTominay, Matic and Fred. And why Van der Beek can't be given a goal. There's a video circulating on Twitter this week of Van der Beek playing in a double pivot against Chelsea in the Champions League, and he was absolutely amazing. And you think, how can he not be given a goal? And it's sad if he hands in a transfer request and he goes without actually being given a full proper chance for United. But yeah, it feels to me like Ollie will die on the McFred sword because that's what he trusts, even though it's not good enough. And Ollie needs to start being braver and more pragmatic and looking to to go for the juggler when teams are, we scored the goal against Southampton and then we backed off and they were allowed to get back in the game. And then by the end of the game, they looked like they were going to score more than we were.
Yeah.
But things need to change because if he doesn't change things, he's gonna have a tough time holding on to his job for me.
Yeah, can I add to that?
Yeah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer often does this thing where if someone plays well against the team in a previous fixture, he'll play them again. So his reasoning for starting Martial against Southampton was, well, last time we played Southampton, he scored 2 goals. His reasoning for starting McFred versus Leeds was because they did well in the 6-2. So surely Donny has to play versus Wolves, because I'm like, it would be hypocritical. Donny was man of the match last game of the season versus Wolves. I think he won the penalty as well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So for Ollie to go, I'm giving Tony a start because he did well last time he played Southampton. I'm giving credit for he did well last time he played this team. It means Ollie be hypocritical of Ollie not to play Donny van de Beek, if you know what I mean. And I look at Ollie and the standards he sets on Fred, the standards for Van de Beek are really bad because we were 1-0 down against Southampton and Fred was playing awful. But Fred doesn't get subbed off. When we were 2-0 down against Southampton and we subbed off Donny, remember, when we were 2-0 down versus Southampton at half-time. When we were 1-0 down versus West Ham, we subbed off Donny at half-time. So if we're losing and Donny's on the pitch, he gets subbed off at half-time, even if he's not the worst performer. Let's say he's not having a good game. But even if he's not the worst performer, Ollie's okay to sub off Donny at half-time. But when Fred puts in the stinker, he won't sub Fred off at half-time.
He's a coward, that's why. He's a coward.
He is. And I just sit here and I went, if Pep Guardiola was Manchester United manager, or if Donny van de Beek was at Manchester City, he would start more games than he starts at Manchester United, which isn't hard. But imagine Rodri, Donny, Kevin De Bruyne. Pep Guardiola would love that. If Pep Guardiola was Man United manager, I could see Donny being a regular starter. I don't know what he has to do to start. I think something against Donny.
It comes down to favourites, and as you mentioned, obviously he pulls him off. I mean, another example of that is when he subs off Greenwood when Rashford's dropping out to 0 out of 10. I mean, Greenwood will get subbed off for anyone else. It's always Greenwood that gets subbed off because it's an easy sub for him. I mean, he never takes off Bruno. He does take off Pogba to an extent, to be fair, but he'll never take off Bruno. He very rarely takes off Rashford. As we saw in the final, Rashford was dropping an absolute nightmare of a game. Still played the 120 minutes. I mean, he was injured as well. He was literally begging to come off at one point. He still didn't come off. But obviously, it is what it is. I suppose that is similar to a lot of managers. They're kind of stubborn and they have they're set in their ways to things. So that Indiana, you got anything to add to that? So?
Yeah. So McFred was stumbled upon by Ollie. What wasn't his first choice? He stumbled upon them. Wanted to get the fullbacks forward and realised the partnership at the back wasn't good enough, so he stumbled on them, right? In terms of Donny's also, he's had some incredible performances. I think it was goal of the season when Rashford scored. Quick one touches between him, Rashford, and Bruno, I think it was. I can't remember who it was against now. I want to say Newcastle, maybe.
Newcastle. It was Newcastle.
Yeah, Bruno scored that
Bruno
one.
scored. Yeah.
Was it Bruno who scored? Right,
Yeah.
Great, it was Bruno, you're right. Yeah. Great goal. Other performances, Donny's been lost. Like he needed a sat nav. He was lost. Whether that's down to him playing with players like McTominay and Fred, who don't zip the ball quick into his feet, his movements, because his movements incredible. He's a very intelligent footballer, Donny van de Beek. He needs those players around him that can also read the game as well as he can. So it's about balance. So I get why he's not been in Bruno's position, if you like. Why he hasn't been playing in the pivot, I think he needed to bulk up. I think we've seen that in the gym or what have you, but he should have played more games last season. But would anybody actually be shocked? Because I wouldn't personally.
Oh, but I know what you say as well before you
if Pogba was put in the pivot and Donny didn't start.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think exactly what's going to happen.
Because I think it's more likely Dan James starts than Donny van de Beek.
Oh no!
I'm serious. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I see Sancho going on the left, Dan James on the right, Greenwood up top. Cavani when he's fit, Greenwood will go on the right.
Bro, I
Sancho go on the left. I can see it.
But that is happening 100%.
I can see it.
Everyone's just going quiet. This
Sam Ronaldo to City.
Bro, I'm just gonna say this right now, right? I don't want to be negative, but if they sign Ronaldo, right, and we fucking lose this weekend because we play shit, I swear I'm done. It's 3 games into the season, right? But I don't want to sit and beg that Chelsea win the league so Liverpool and Man City can't win it, because that's what we've become. I have to sit here and hope Chelsea win it because I don't care if Chelsea win it.
Usman,
When Man
Alice
City
summed it
win
up earlier.
Exactly.
Listen to what Alice said earlier. We are the underdogs going into the Champions League games. Manchester United, underdogs. And we are. She's 100% right. 100% right. And that's where it's got to. For me, no matter what Ollie wins, I'm not going to be angry if he's sacked at the end of the season and an elite manager comes in. That's where. No, I've never been like that though. No. I've always. No, I've never been Ollie in. I've been Ollie in for the rebuild, but never Ollie in as a manager. I would never put him on Klopp's level, someone like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's. I just think it's time. Southampton showed me that he's learned nothing in terms of players in the midfield, especially. And Martial, you know what Martial's like after 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you know whether he's on form.
You can tell if he's sharp or not. And you could tell he wasn't. I said to Jerry on the watch along, Martial's not fit. Like you can tell that he's not fit.
Yeah, but he was rubbish. He was rubbish as well.
He was terrible.
No, he was rubbish. He was absolutely dog.
Yeah, but this fitness thing is that's you're just trying to paint that because he wasn't. Well, he was rubbish. He was crap.
I think there's a reason for. I mean, if we don't.
There's no reason. He was rubbish. But Van Dijk's been out for 10 months. He looks fine. He looks fine to me.
Yeah, but Van Dijk's had a lot of pre-season.
Actually, Varane needs to start. Especially if McTominay's out, he needs to start so that Maguire can drive forward with the ball. That needs to happen.
If Varane's not starting this game, I swear to God, why did you sign him? Man brought Lukaku from the bloody wilderness in Inter Milan and put him in the first game against Arsenal, bro. No pissing about. Started him straight away. That's what a proper manager does. He even, as Jerry quoted in our last show, I didn't pay 100 million to put him on the bench. I mean, I know Varane. Varane was obviously a lot less, but Varane is the most experienced player we've got, arguably, in the whole squad. Like he's won it all, really. I mean, he probably is the most experienced player in terms of accolades. So for me personally, we need to stop pissing about. If we drop points against Wolves, which is what we're going to discuss briefly now, we're already like 5 points off the title. I mean, like we're already in the top 4 race. Like it's been 3 games. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just
the problem you've got with Ollie is that this is his dream job. So as soon as the pressure starts to build, he's going to revert back to what kept him in the job the whole time and what's safe. And he's not going to take the risks that is needed that an elite manager would make, like you say, Pep, Klopp, Tuchel as well. They would make sacrifices to the team in order to get the result. Ollie's not going to do that, and he's proved that in the last 2 seasons, and it'll prove the same again. Like I would love him to be more open and going for games and taking more risks, but he's just not going to do it because he's in a job that he never thought he would get the United job. Not in his heart of hearts. He came in and he went on a run. The board have backed him. Woodward, right or wrong, has given him a contract. For me, shouldn't have done it. Should have waited till the end of the season. So he's in a job that he never was going to get. So he's going to try and keep that job for as long as he possibly can. And he knows if he gets top 4, he's got another season because that's all the Glazers want. So if he can get us in the top 4, then the board the fans aren't happy, but the board are happy, and Ollie's still in the job. So you are going to see it. You are going to see it a lot this season. And when we're chasing the game, he's going to make the same substitutions. That's why he brings McTominay on when he's injured, because he gets a point and he's pushing top 4. Then they're happy, aren't they? That's the sad thing. And that's, like we're saying, we are the underdogs, and we've fallen so far that it's sickening to see that United are hoping for top 4 and hoping we get out of a Champions League group.
Yeah, no, I think that substitution screamed to me that I do want to lose the game. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying as a manager you're completely fearless, but I think you got to pick and choose your battles. And against the poor Southampton team, without the players that they had at their disposal, Romeo, Ward-Prowse not fully fit, that was a battle that he shouldn't have to second guess that one. And that's my issue, Alice. I'll come back to you, and obviously we'll have a quick chat on Wolves. Obviously going into that one as well, fairly brief, but. Is that the biggest concern then? Indiana kind of said it, the Southampton game proved to him that, he's not learning from his mistake.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest concern, that he's just going to play cautious? Because, I mean, that's all he knows really, isn't it?
Yeah, I had 3 things I said in the live stream about 2 weeks ago. I said there's 3 things that I don't want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do next season. I said the first was earlier subs, making his subs earlier, not doing, it's the 88th minute, Donny, have your 2-minute run in. Let's see if you could do something.
He's still got Lingard at 85th. He's still got Lingard at 85th, like he's meant to do something.
That was my first one. My second one was Ollie not wanting to win games, because I think the reason we weren't in the title race last season was how many 0-0s did we have? 8, 9? And all of those 0-0s, Ollie didn't actually make any subs or change it, did he? Especially against the big 6 sides that we drew 0-0 with. He didn't want to take the risk. So my first criticism was, lack of late subs. My second criticism was never going to win games when it was 0-0. And my third criticism was lack of squad rotation and the treatment of Donny van de Beek. I even thought Amad Diallo should be playing over the likes of Mata and Dan James. I even thought Tuan Zabi, you could give him a run in over Lindelof. That was at one point. They were my 3 criticisms of Ollie. And right now, if Ollie continues to do this in the next couple of games of the season, I'm giving Southampton as a one-off. I'm giving it as a one-off, which I shouldn't really. But knowing Ollie, he probably cares about that away record. He was like, we must not lose, we must not lose. But if Ollie continues to do these things of, I'm not going to play Donny, I'm going to play McFred, I'm going to play Matic and Fred, I'm going to make subs in the 88th minute, I'm not going to, it's 0-0, but it's Man City, let's not make a change, I would rather not win the game than lose the game. I will beat Ollie out, and I think that will end up costing him his job if he does that.
I can see it. If it's 70 minutes on Sunday and it's 1-1, Ollie will close the game out, because he'll take that record, like you said, the away record of being unbeaten. If we don't get beaten on Sunday, we overtake Arsenal, and I can very much see if it's 1-1, it's a short shot.
I can't wait for that trophy. That trophy when we overtake Arsenal. I can't wait for it, man. Honestly, I'm gonna be so gassed when we lift that trophy. It's gonna be amazing achievement.
I'll meet you at the parade. We can
literally what Pogba said. I asked him about the record, right? Pogba, right, gets so much shit from people. I mean, each their own, whatever you want to think about him. But Pogba's mentality is what the mentality of the club should be. They asked him about the record, and he literally replied saying, "It's all well and good, but I want trophies." And why does he get hate for that? Like, are we not? Is that what we should be?
He got heat for that,
bro. People hate him for everything, bro. He said this so many times that he wants to be competing for titles. Yada yada. The reason he had beef with Jose and at that time is because he didn't feel like we were moving the right direction. And people, for some reason, seem to paint him as a villain. But in actual fact, he just wants the Man United to be competing for the highest honours, which surely, as a fan of the club, that's what you'd want. But let's just quickly get everyone's thoughts on balls, and we'll get a score prediction and we'll wrap it, because obviously it'll be nice, roughly an hour, so to speak. Just want to quickly get some comments in, because obviously there's quite a few. Diego saying keep hitting the likes and subscribe and follow to all the live panel. Obviously make sure you show love to everyone as well. That's what it's all about. Ali says still no 4-3-3, which apparently we were going to play. I mean, we kind of played that against Leeds, to be honest. McFred again, James and Lingard not sold and getting game time. Van der Beek can't buy a game. However, I mean, there's so much shit we could cover. I've not even covered the comments about Ollie being like Klopp. I mean, I'm not going to go into that because we'll be all night. That is just outrageous. And also, I just got to throw it. Gary saying it's progress to be finished 4th. Manchester United finishing 4th is progress with the money we spent. I mean, it's just embarrassing. I did have Scholes saying that Jose should win the title. He's got all the players, but now he's not saying the same thing for Ollie. So, of course, hypocrites, double standards, obviously, etc., etc. Why are we stuck with this 4-2-3-1 formation? Why can't we change it now and then? How about 2 up top for a change? I mean, the formation itself isn't an issue for me, because I think the formation, if deployed correctly, is very fluid. I mean, Bayern play, Chelsea to an extent play. Well, Chelsea not anymore actually, but a lot of other teams play a similar formation. I mean, Pep's played it at times. It's not really the formation; it's how the players are deployed. You saw against Leeds, we were kind of 4-3-3 for large parts, because obviously it was a very fluid formation. But again, that comes down to Ollie. But listen, I was going to get everyone's thoughts on the Wolves game. Me and Jerry have obviously given our thoughts. So Indiana, we'll come to you first and foremost. What are your general thoughts on the Wolves game and your score prediction, bro? Oh, is he here? Oh, he's here.
Yeah. Sorry. Wolves. I'm just not confident. I'm sorry. Like Southampton, I didn't think we'd see that. I just didn't think we'd see that lineup. The fact that McTominay is injured, I expect Donny van der Beek to play, but I'm not going to be shocked if Pogba's in the pivot. I think, for me, Greenwood has to start up top.
Yeah,
has to happen. Last 2 games, he should be rewarded for that. A Sancho start, Varane has to start. My expectation, it has to be 3-1 United. have to go with it.
Fair enough. We have
You
got
can't not with the players. You can't not.
I mean, I've said this about a million times, but if you actually look at our squad, they tweeted out yesterday, right, on the Man United, Twitter page, 4 pictures of Pogba, Varane, Sancho, and I keep forgetting who the last player was. I think it was Cavani. Them 4 players, and if you actually think about it, that's without even mentioning Rashford, Bruno, Greenwood.
Yeah.
And they're top players, them 4. Like, we've actually got a lot of talent in this team, and most of them are fit. I mean, Scott McTominay and Rashford are the only 2 people missing. Everyone else is fit. I mean, you can throw Martial in that category of being fit as well, of course.
Osman, there's no excuses. There's no excuses in terms of goals. We have got the best depth in attack in the league.
Yeah,
there are no excuses.
I completely agree. I mean, in terms of goals, I should have been going into the game thinking, oh shit, man, it's gonna be a dead game in terms of how we're gonna create chances. That should be the least of my worries. My worry should be, are we going to be able to defend? I mean, obviously, our defense is pretty good as well, but that should be more of a concern. But Alice, over to you. What's your brief sort of thoughts on the game, and of course your score prediction?
I just think Varane, Sancho, Donny have to start. Donny in the pivot, okay? That has to happen because if we play Matic and Fred, it's not going to be a good game because they can't pass the ball to the attack. We're not going to score goals. Wolves lost their first 2 games of the season. They're not that strong. They're not as good as people think they are. They lost Nuno. We should be beating Wolves 2-0, 3-1. We should be scoring 2-3 goals against Wolves. Will we? I think we're going to be quite defensive, quite negative. When we play Wolves, it's always 0-0, 1-0. I'm going to say we win because I think it would be a disgrace for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to draw against Wolves and Southampton 2 games in a row. I think even Ole would be like, I can't draw against these 2 games where I might risk winning when it's 1-0. So I'm going to say that we are going to win 2-1. Well, we'll concede a sloppy goal because I think Ole's going to play Matic and Fred. So I can't predict, a good game. I think he's going to play Matic and Fred, so I'll just say 2-1.
Fair enough. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with Indiana that probably Pogba's going to play in the pivot with Matic. And I hope that doesn't happen. So try and be positive. I hope to see, Ollie said before the Southampton game that Varane and Sancho were fit to start and both on the bench. So that should mean to me now that both of those are starting on Sunday.
I think Sancho is starting that. I did see some credible journalists saying that Sancho would be starting this one.
Good. So hopefully, Varane, Sancho, and Donny is starting. I played Donny with Matic, and then you've got Greenwood up top, Pogba on the left, and I just hope that the main thing is about United this season. I just hope Ollie's learning from his mistakes, and we can go and actually try and put in a proper challenge. So I'm hoping he's going to go for it. This Wolves team, for me, aren't as good as what they may have been. Hopefully we can get the better of them. I don't normally do score predictions, but I'll go for a 2-0 for United. I think.
Fair enough. Hopefully it's a good omen. Every time I say anything positive at the moment, it's the opposite. So I managed to keep my mouth shut. Diego is saying, "Don't worry about Cristiano Ronaldo going to see. I'm going to ask Patrick Vieira to make a bid for him for my Palace. I mean, hopefully. Sorry, I think he looked better. Does red and purple stripes, anyways. Jerry, I know we kind of spoke about this the other day. But I suppose the question would be, has your opinion changed from that day? And if not, just so everyone here who's new to the show, just to quickly recap on that.
Yeah, the Pogba with Scott's news this morning, the Pogba dropping back in midfield is looking like a possibility, which I don't like at all. But we should win this game. I'm expecting the boys to bounce back. Obviously, Sancho Varane has to start now. And I don't know if you lot have seen the Cavani news, but it's pissing me off.
Yeah, someone put it in the chat, but I forgot to put it on. Is that true or not?
Yeah, apparently he's gonna go to the internationals Uruguay and possibly miss a lot of games.
He's gonna miss 10 games.
That's ridiculous, by the way.
Why are we allowed
that is ridiculous. He's our only striker. We have one striker. One. We've got loads of wide forwards. One striker, and you're gonna let him go.
So we're letting Cavani go, right? And we're not buying Ronaldo.
Wait, are we letting him go, or he's just gonna go? Because I remember the Premier League.
He's gonna go.
They sent out a statement.
He's gonna obviously go in it. They put a statement saying.
Yeah, and he put question marks on his Insta. I was thinking, why are you vexed, bro? Like, you need to be here.
Jerry, you can't say that, bro.
He's here. He's United for a wage.
Bro,
Yeah,
he had extended break that we allowed him to do. Go back to his family, and you only came back.
But can I just throw? I've got to defend Cavani here. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason I'm gonna defend him, right? It's his last World Cup for his country. Just deep that as a human being, right? It's his last World Cup. This is it. It's do or die. If he doesn't qualify, if they don't qualify, he doesn't represent his country ever in his life again in the World Cup. Come on,
that's fair enough. But then,
let's be realistic.
For me, yeah, Marshall, get all the chances you want. I won't start this guy because, yeah, man, Marshall, this is your chance.
Shouldn't the club know this though? Shouldn't the club know? They would have spoke to. It's not like this. These games have just popped up. They'll know. They knew before the season started this was happening. They would have spoke to Cavani. They'll know whether he wants to leave.
Why did they not terminate his contract then? like it's true, though, isn't it? Like,
because
you're telling me, right?
My theory is they're going in for Haaland next season. That's why they're not bought.
I mean, I agree with you. I think they're going for Haaland, but it's not like it's not like we can go in for Sancho next season because we can get him. It's not like that. There's going to be everyone wanting Haaland, mate. It's like me saying I want to marry Beyonce. Well, fucking 10,000 people want to marry Beyonce as well. Like, there's a queue. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not as easy as just going to Beyonce and saying, "Yo, let's link up." Like, Haaland, everyone wants him. Literally, every single person, every team wants him. He's gonna go Bayern Munich, realistically speaking.
But but United are hoping that because he's got a relationship with Ollie, that's gonna work in their favour.
He's gonna be sacked by then, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Well, no. Wait.
Not if you get top four, though. Not if you get top four.
I mean, if Ollie brings Haaland, then I'll sacrifice the season.
That's
the great good. So, I mean, that's a conversation for a different day, isn't it? Really. But yeah, Jerry, as you were saying, I don't.
Yeah, 2-1 for us. Wolves away is always tough. Even our youngsters did well in the last game of the season, so I'm expecting Donny to start. I think he will start.
It's away from home, isn't it? Of course.
Yeah, away from home.
So is that record? Yeah, this is where we could secure a trophy with Ollie. Yeah, so it's a big moment for Ollie actually in his career. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I've done 2 previews with Wolves fans, and they've all said the same thing. They were absolutely brilliant against Spurs. They're very confident going into this game. They think that Traore in particular is going to cause problems. Obviously, they've all said the same thing. It's a different Wolves. It's not the Wolves that we used to seeing under obviously Nuno Espirito Santos. It's a very attacking Wolves. They're different. It's a different outfit, so to speak. So for me personally, that was definitely going to play in our hands because they're going to attack. So for that reason, a convincing 1-1 draw. Well done, Ollie. You've secured the trophy. You've got the record, Ollie. Let's go. You love to see it. And that's it. He secured his trophy and he's put himself in history. He's better than the Invincibles. I mean, our trophy is going to be gold. Obviously, as always, get your thoughts down. If you're watching this on repeat, make sure you get your score prediction in the chat. Make sure you drop a like. Hopefully I'm wrong and everyone else is right regarding the positivity score predictions. Everyone's links are down below, or they will be very shortly as soon as I finish this broadcast. Like I said, a few substitutions. Obviously, that will be updated. As I already said as well, make sure you go and vote for Alice. If you don't vote for Alice, don't come back to the channel. Make sure you go show love. Like I said, I don't know anyone else on the list at all. So everyone who supports our channel, if you support us, make sure you go and support Alice. She's one of our own. Like I said, she's our Greenwood, and maybe Sancho. We'll just claim him anyways because he's ours now. But yeah, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. As always, before we go, Jerry, start with you, my brother. Let people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, Twitter handle on the screen. United Team Talk on the YouTube, and obviously Osman Talks United occasionally.
Yes. We got 1 vote from Diego. Yes, let's go. 1 vote. Aaron, let the people know where they can find you, my brother.
Yeah, I just want to say big up everyone on the panel. Nice to meet you all. Obviously, thanks for having me on Osman for the first time. 1/3 of Talking Kit podcast centered around football kits. Just dropped the 3rd episode yesterday. So find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere at Talking Kit. Get involved, let us know, and just become part of the Talking Kit family.
I'm sorry, these comments are really cute. Jerry's drop.
Alright, Wes, allow it, bro. What are you talking about?
Just winding you up. I'm assuming this is my brother. Showing love as always. Indiana, let the people know where they can find you, my guy.
Yeah, you can find me on the Football Terrace. You can find me on the First XI. Please go and check that out. Loads of different content on there. Grounded Football. We got Grounded United. I'd love to get everyone here on the panel on there at some point. Danny, Devil and Details are regular on there. Obviously, Rachel. We've got the Offside Rule, Fraud Watch, you name it. Just unique stuff. And we've got a new United channel coming as well, a sub channel. So that'll be very different as well. But make sure you subscribe to Usman Talks. Smash the like button. Go and support Alice as well. It is free. It's free to do it. Just do it.
Free. You don't have to pay. Even the Glazers might do it. Alice, last but not least, let the people know where they can find you. And of course, like I said, the link is down below for the voting.
Yeah, cheers Usman for having me on the channel once again. Always fun to be here. Just talk Alice Talks Football on YouTube, Alice Talks Football on TikTok, and Alice Talks Footy on Twitter, and you'll pretty much find me on there. And obviously type in Football Content Awards on Google and you'll find where the vote was. But I'll send Usman a link. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you as always. Also, Kojo was on the show. I almost forgot. I'm not gonna lie. Kojo, no, I'm joking. Kojo, I love you. Kojo was also on the show. So make sure you check his socials down below as well. 3 in midfield, as always, is a regular here. Before I forget, we have got the Friday Rivals show tomorrow. I genuinely forgot what day of the week it is. We have got a new panelist. Cam has shown his face. Of course, Arsenal with that fantastic victory in midweek. So he has finally shown his face. So, I mean, he's as shameless as ever. He's told me Aubameyang's better than Aguero is where he is. But anyways, make sure you check that out. 8 p.m. Him, Bits and Bobs, Steve, and I believe Jack, which of course is a Tottenham fan. They're going to be chopping up. I'm sure they're going to be slagging us off because of said individual that we shall not name. But anyways, it's been your boys, man. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Peace.